Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing adding mixed numbers. So anytime I am adding mixed numbers, my personal preference is to go ahead and pull out my fractions so I don't get confused about the order of my fractions or which denominators or numbers I'm supposed to be looking at when I find my least common multiple. So first step is we always need to make equivalent fractions by finding our least common multiple. So I take my denominators of 3 and 4. Oh, let's go ahead and focus. There we go. Of 3 and 4, and I'm going to list the multiples. So 3, 6, 9, 12. For 4, 4, 8, and 12. Meaning our least common multiple is going to be 12. Now we take this least common multiple and that becomes our new denominator. And then we need to use a dominoes box to figure out how did I go from my old denominator to my new denominator. So 3 times 4 equals 12. So 2 times 4 equals 8. And then same thing down here. 4 times 3 equals 12. So 3 times 3 is 9. I'm going to bring back down my whole numbers. So 5 with my new fraction of 8 twelfths. I am adding. My next whole number is 3 with my new fraction of 9 twelfths. So now let's go ahead and add. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 9 is 17 twelfths. I always stop and ask myself, is this improper? And in this case, the answer is yes, because 17 is greater than 12. I'm going to have to divide over here before I can find my greatest common factor. So 12 fits into 17 one time, leaving me with 5 left over. So remainder 5, and I remember I always turn my remainder into my fraction using my divisor as my denominator. So now I have 1 and 5 twelfths. But remember, I also had my whole number 8 over here, and I cannot forget about that. So I really have 9 and 5 twelfths. Before I say that this is my final answer, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that 5 and 12 do not have a greatest common factor other than 1. 5 is prime, so it's only going to have 1 and 5. 12 has 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And remember, don't get confused here because I'm looking for my greatest common factor. I am not listing my multiples like I was up here. I am finding the ways I can make this number up top, not what happens when I multiply that number times 1, times 2, times 3. So coming over here, they have a 1 in common, and that's it. If my greatest common factor is 1, there is nothing for me to do. I am in its simplest form, and I am done. So my final answer is 9 and 5 twelfths. All right, let's do our next one. Remember, I like to pull out my fractions before I get started so I can make sure I always put my first one on top and my second one on bottom. And then I need to make sure that my, hold on one second. All right, and we're back. Sorry about that, I was interrupted. So I have listed my fractions, and now I'm going to bring my denominators and put them up top. All right, so I have 6 and I have 8, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to list their multiples. 6, 12, 18, 24, 8, 16, 24. That means their least common multiple is 24. And I always take this number and it becomes my new denominator. And then I need to figure out, okay, if this is my new denominator, how did I get here? And if you're struggling to remember what you multiplied 6 by, because you've already listed your multiples, you can just go ahead and count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 times 4 is 24. So 5 times 4 is 20. Same thing over here. 8 times 1, 2, 3, and 5 times 3 is 15. So these are my new fractions. I'm going to go ahead and reattach my whole numbers. 7 and 20 over 24 plus, oh, don't forget that, 2 and 15 24ths. Okay, let's go ahead and add. 7 plus 2 is 9. 15 and 20 make 35. And my denominator stays the same. So I have 9 and 35 24ths. I asked myself, is this improper? In this case, it is improper. So I'm going to go ahead and divide. 35 goes inside, 24 goes out. I know it goes in one time with 11 remaining. So my remainder is 11 over 24. And I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this over here. But I cannot forget to bring this whole number back over, meaning I have 10 and 11 24ths. I'm going to go ahead and say that 11 is prime. So I know that their only common factor would be 1. But if I didn't, I can always make my t-chart, list all the ways that we can make these numbers with multiplication, and find my greatest common factor, and then divide if needed. Hope that helps. Have a great day.